Welcome to Kryptic Soulz, the podcast about all things horror. Sit back, relax, and get ready to delve into the dark abyss of things that go bump in the night. And now, here are your hosts, Jeff Scott, Meg Scott, and Dave Bates.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I am Jeff.
I'm Meg.
I'm Dave.
And welcome to Kryptic Soulz. I know what you're thinking. What the hell is Kryptic Soulz? Well, it's a podcast about all things horror. And what I mean by that is we talk about movies, books, television, music, anything within the horror genre. And we just decided to do this because why not? 2020 is over. It's the beginning of the year. We figured, let's try something new. And truthfully, this is something you've wanted to do for a long time, right, Dave?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep. He's a talker, this one. Don't worry, guys. But no, it's the very first episode. We're happy to try this out, see if it works. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and basically give our 2 cents about what's going on in the horror world. I mean, there's a lot out there. I'm sure everybody has something they're scared of. So right off the bat, why are we doing this?
We decided to get together about a month ago to discuss our passion about horror, all the things that we really enjoy about horror, and decided to share it with everybody. We figured there are so many people out there who feel the same way as we do. So we're going to let everybody know what got us into horror. With me, what got me into horror was when I was younger, watching horror movies with my younger brother, trying to scare each other in the middle of the night. At midnight, we would stay up late and we'd watch like Poltergeist, Exorcist, Nightmare on Elm Street, all those movies just to see who would get scared first.
How about you, Dave?
I guess the short version of it, I do remember being very young. Mm-hmm. Parents were having a game night downstairs. I was upstairs watching the $1 Million Movie for you old people. And Carrie came on. I remember turning it on, and it was the prom scene, and it terrified me. Went running downstairs, crying to my parents. They laughed at me, and life moved on. A little later, or a few years later, we had a family movie night. Poltergeist came on pay-per-view, and I remember loving it, but I also remember not sleeping for a while. A few years later, I had a little trouble sleeping, and went downstairs, asked my mom if I could watch TV with her. She said, as long as I'm quiet, just get ready to watch a movie. And it was Nightmare on Elm Street. And I remember making it through the whole movie. And I remember the only reason I couldn't sleep that night was I couldn't wait to tell everybody about what I just witnessed. And pretty much from that point on, I think I've been all in.
That's pretty cool. For me, it's always been the Saturday afternoon movies, like Godzilla's, if you consider those horror movies. Commander USA's groovy movies really got me into it. Like Chud would come on in the Saturday afternoons, or the Toxic Avenger, the old classics would be on, and it's just, I would always look at that and really like them. But the first major horror movie, like the one, no restrictions, no nothing, I think I was like 11, and I was over at a friend's house, and they had Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. He popped that in, and I said, wow. I was like hooked after that. I'm like, they make these kind of movies? So pretty much I've been stuck in it ever since, even so much as going to work at a haunted attraction where I get to scare the crap out of kids every Halloween, which is really cool. So, and that led to makeup effects and stuff like that. And then, helping with short films, being in a couple of those. Just really love the genre. Love reading about it. Although I don't get scared. Not much scares me these days. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm desensitized. There's certain things about horror movies that will freak me out, but not so much as, the jump scare obviously is a jump scare. So it's more of the reaction to it. But I've never really been scared. I've been unnerved. One of the major ones that really unnerved me was Final Destination, because I'm like, oh crap, that possibly could happen, even though it's a movie, but you never know. But like, what makes you guys scared? What?
The supernatural. That's what really started would get me going. The elements of those type of movies would scare me to the core, like the movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose. That movie scares the crap out of me because when she's possessed by the demon and she starts speaking or starts levitating or starts contorting into unnatural positions, that's what really gets me. Or if you see something moving on its own, because when I turn off the movie and then I hear something similar to what I heard, or I see something similar to what I saw, like right now, as you're pushing my notebook subtly.
Well, I know how to get you going, so there you go.
It freaks me out. And also, if you turn off all the lights all at once and it turns extremely dark, all those images from those movies, it would just come flooding to my head. And so that's what really scares me.
I would probably have to agree on the supernatural thing. Not normally, however, as I usually tell people, I could watch supernatural movies, haunting, like just anything related to that all day long. And a lot of cases I'll end up laughing at it. As soon as the sun goes down, can't do it. If it's dark out and I'm by myself, for some reason it gets me every time.
I kind of would agree too. Like the supernatural does freak me out, but not in movies, because I'm one of those believers that I think there is something out there. I really do. So those elements are kind of based in reality for me. So like after dark, if I'm watching one of those, I'll be like, can we bless the house? Where's the sage? Let's get that stuff going. Because I feel that there is something out there. I don't know. I'm not going to say what, but you never know. So that kind of does freak me out, but not watching it though.
Well, my parents would, like growing up, my parents would tell me ghost stories too, and they would keep weird objects. Like one object that they have in their house is this.
I play with it like.
They were the ones that bought that?
Exactly. No, they have this doll, this little rag doll that my dad trash picked, and it's like this antique doll. And along with it is a story. My dad was telling me that it has a spirit attached to it, and he would see that spirit in the middle of the night in the rocking chair saying, "Where's my doll?"
So the Raggedy Ann doll?
It kind of. It's like it's one of those rag dolls, and it's like one of those homemade ones, and the eyes are painted to follow you.
Now, the interesting thing is about that, you've told me this story. I've seen the doll, but you never told me your dad trash picked it. So now I question, like, how would he know if he trash picked it? Did he go to the people and go, "Hey, tell me about the doll that I just took out of your trash that you threw away"?
See, that's the thing. Is
that's what I'm curious about.
Why would you throw this antique away?
Yeah, exactly. It's just going to come back to you.
Well,
I've seen the movie. I'm sure you have too.
According to my parents, it was way before us kids were born, and it was when they were living in the apartment building in Pittman. And
the ones next to the Satanists.
Yeah, those. No, only kidding. And that's what happened. My dad saw the doll, and he thought it would be it looked antique, and thought it would be a neat addition. And then just in the middle of the night, and in the rocking chair was this old lady just rocking back and forth asking about the doll. And he would tell me that story, and it would freak me out because the doll's eyes are painted to follow you. And then if you get close enough to the doll and it's so tightly put together and everything like that, it feels like the doll's breathing on you, even though it's not really so.
So obviously the old woman is blind because the doll's right there. It's like, how can you not see? It's right there. It's sitting on a little shelf. Where's your doll? It's right there. Besides what got us into there, also, what is our favorite horror movies? I think that's something they would like to know about. Mine, actually, this is very weird. It's the movie Dolls, produced by Charles Band, who did the Puppet Master series. That movie, excuse me, that movie kind of got my fascination, really, with horror. Besides watching Friday the 13th, even though that was my very first one that got me into it, this one really solidified it for me. Just the fact that these little porcelain dolls are going around like, and just killing these people that show up during a rainy night. I thought that was really cool. I mean, the opening scene where the young daughter and her parents are wandering through the woods going up to the mansion, and the mother gets all ticked off at her and throws her teddy into the into the bushes, and then she dreams it's coming back like roar and kills them all, and all she says was, "Oh, Teddy," and I'm like, I'm hooked. It was just, to me, that movie really just stuck with me. Like anytime it's on, even on Saturdays, whenever they would play all those movies in the afternoons, I'm like, oh, Dolls, okay, done, it's done deal.
Yeah,
So-
I got to rewatch that because last time I saw it, I think it was still fairly new.
It was 1987. I
Yeah,
think it came out, so
so-
you saw it in 88 then, last time.
Maybe 89.
So, how about you?
My favorite movie was The Exorcist, the one done in 1973. They were first was exposed to it on TV, so of course it was totally
Censored.
watered down and censored.
Disney
but
version.
exactly, still with the Disney
Couple
version
chipmunks
of
come
it.
dancing in. Yeah, that's how it works.
Basically, but it's so scary on TV. For me, it was extremely impressionable. And then we just would rent the movie, and I would just get really scared. And that's what I loved about it, and that's what I really liked about horror.
You know, I
is
agree with you
that.
because the thing that scared me about that movie were the Catholic priests. So that they'd show up like, ah. So
And I mean, how old were you?
I don't want to. No, my therapist told me not to talk about it anymore. So moving on. Go ahead.
So I was about like 12 or 13 when we would rent The Exorcist. It was just me. I would, sneak it. My parents wouldn't let me watch it on my own. And when I was watching it on TV, my parents would ask me what I'm watching, and I said, "Oh, just something that I just saw on TV," and it would be like the video version.
Well, I think that's like every parent. Like my parents did the same thing. Like I had to go to a friend's to watch Friday the 13th, but Dolls I watched on like Commander USA's groovy movies. He
Right.
would actually play that. So again, that would be watered down. I think it wasn't until maybe 10 years ago actually I saw the unrated, the actual version of it, not watered down, because I bought it because for the longest time you could not get it. Like I kept looking for it in video stores and everything. This is back in VHS, so naturally, if you find a copy, great. But then now with the intranet, you're able to get anything you want, and they finally released it on DVD. So,
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that too, because the Tremors movies came on TV as well, and my father just would put them on because he loves sci-fi. And so I would laugh at them, actually. I didn't get scared. I would laugh. It was pretty cool. It was fun. And
because
it was
those
during
monster
the...
movies are real sci-fi.
Well, what's really funny is that I would ask my dad to go, if we can go rent it, because this is the edited for TV. And my dad would say to me, "No, I don't want to waste my money."
Of course not. Why get the whole story?
Exactly. How about you, Dave? What's your favorite?
Showgirls, right?
It was definitely the most terrifying movie, but I don't know if it was my favorite. I mean, I've always been a sucker for all the 80s era slashers, things like that. But for the last couple of years now, I would probably say my favorite was the original '08 Martyrs. For me, it was the most original thing I saw in a long time. And yeah, it just leaves you uncomfortable. I mean, I guess we'll figure out what we're going to do as far as discussing spoilers.
Well,
So,
I think
unfortunately-
if it's an old movie, I don't think people are going to complain too much. If it's like a brand new one that just came out or something like that, then yeah, we'd probably keep it to a minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
and
the-
if you feel uncomfortable about spoiling the movie, they can listen to the end of this podcast, and we'll have the spoiler there.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Maybe.
But that's definitely a movie that is...
Bruce Willis is dead. Deal with it.
Uh-oh, it's not The Sixth Sense.
Of course it is.
You said Bruce Willis, and I was thinking Dick Laurent, so...
Close enough. Anyway.
Yeah, so, yeah, it was just, like I said, it just left me feeling kind of dirty. And, yeah, I just thought it was a great movie. It was the most original thing I saw in a long time. And I'm not even a fan of reading movies. I'll watch a movie with subtitles, but when you have to read it, I just, I'll kind of put it on the back burner. And this one, I heard enough good things about it. And, yeah, I'm kind of glad I watched it, because
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I can't read subtitles. It's like if I wanted to read a movie, I just get the book version of it.
Yeah,
Because it's like, or at least come out with something that can actually read it for you, so you don't have to sit there going up, down, what I miss, Oh my God, okay, I'm busy reading this entire 3 sentences. I'm like, what? He did, oh, son of a, and then you have to rewind or something like that. It's a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much what got us into the horror, and we all decided, let's get together, let's make a podcast. I mean, we all survived the horror of 2020, and hopefully it's done, but I think they're making a sequel, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we decided new year, first of the month, let's try something. If you guys like it, follow us, let us know, drop us, an email, give us ideas for other things you'd like us to talk about. Coming up in this episode, we're going to talk about remakes versus originals, because I think that's something that's coming out now, where everyone's just remaking stuff, because is there any originality anymore when it comes to the horror genre, or is it just whatever's cool? So we'll talk about that in just a few minutes, so if you're still with us and haven't left, stay tuned.
Segue.
Let's talk about remakes, especially some of the new stuff that's coming out compared to the originals. It seems like Hollywood is just saturated right now with wanting to remake almost every little thing. It's almost like there's no originality. I mean, I can't really narrow down a specific movie that really, to me, sucked. Because it's kind of hard, because... take Friday the 13th. They remade that, and a lot of people liked it. A lot of people didn't, and I'm one of the ones that didn't. I liked the special effects in it. I think some of the people they got to do it, why? I mean, I'm a Supernatural fan. I like Jared Padalecki, but he just was miscast, in my opinion. And he just didn't seem natural in this movie. It's like, here's Jason running around, and then I'm like, all I see is, because it's fresh off of Supernatural, I'm like, all I see is his character. I'm like, I don't see it. No. And then some of the expectations they have, like, he's not like a dead guy coming back, the whole Frankenstein that they did in part
zombie
6.
Jason.
Yeah, no zombie Jason, no supernatural powers. They tried to explain it, and I'm like, he's kidnapped a girl, and I'm like, why? The whole point is to keep everyone out. He doesn't, and everyone's like, oh, it reminds him of his mother. Why? Does he chain up his mother? It's just the whole thing just seemed
We'll just
forced.
wait for the prequel,
Yeah, God,
where they explain his mommy issues.
I hope not. Well, I mean, right now with the lawsuit going on, I doubt it's ever going to happen. So, because that's
They'll find a loophole.
Probably. But to me, there's that Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I did like it, but I thought it came out at the wrong time, in my opinion. I think people were not ready for it. They're so hepped up on Robert Englund, who is the definitive Freddy. I mean, we can't complain about that. So that, can't complain too much there. And I thought he tried. I'm trying to remember his name. Oh, I'm gonna hate myself for this.
I just been thinking about it the last 15 seconds, and
but
Jackie or Haley.
Thank you. Yes, Rorschach. You think I would have remembered him?
Yeah.
I mean, he did a good job, but I hated the idea that they had to CG stuff on his face. I'm like, really? Practical effects was not good enough for you people? Come on. But to me, I think the remakes that actually do work, I'm going to go way back. I'm going to the 80s again. The remake of The Blob. I have to admit, that was enjoyable to me. It made sense. It wasn't too over the top, and I thought the special effects still held up to this day. I mean, watching that one dude just disintegrate, I'm like, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I haven't seen that since it was pretty new, but I remember really enjoying it. It would be nice to go back and see how well it holds up. And, I mean, at the time, too, I was kind of obsessed with Shawnee Smith, so...
There you go.
That made it much more fun.
Yeah.
Actually, I was going to jump into Friday the 13th as well. I did like it. I mean, I don't think anybody has ever really had an issue with, the oh so popular first 20 minutes. But, and I agree, it's not a great movie, but I definitely had a lot of fun with it. It was, see, then again, I'm stuck on, part 8.
Oh,
so, I mean,
so sorry.
compared to that, a lot. It's hard to go really bad with Jason beyond that.
I don't know.
And-
Part 9 was really bad. It's like, hey, let's all of a sudden he's out of the sewers and he looks weird and now he can jump.
I mean,
ride
I'm not going to
things.
justify that movie either.
I'm not justifying anything. I'm saying it downright sucks. And then they totally threw continuity out the window. It's like, no, let's put Jason in space because why not? I'm like, what?
Worked for Leprechaun.
Did it? Because then they brought him back to the hood. Anyways, I'm leaving that one alone.
Nah. But yeah, well, again, wait till the lawsuit's over.
Yeah, well, true.
They're going to do a prequel, and then they're going to put Jason in the hood.
know-
Oh wait, no, never mind. We're going back to part 8. But yeah, and as far as, I mean, I didn't take it so much as they were, explaining Jason as far as like his abilities and all that. I mean, I kind of liked that approach to it. And again, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, it was a phenomenal movie, but it was the first Jason I've enjoyed in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, there were parts of it I enjoyed, and I wish I could just watch those parts and forget everything else. Because really,
Yeah.
do you need a story with these type of movies? No. It's here's something or a guy or whatever, and he's going around killing teenagers. What's the subplot? All right, the subplot is
They're
smoking.
stupendous.
Yeah, they're smoking dope and having sex. There you go. What more do you need?
And boy, did they run home with that one.
Oh yeah.
Hi, all right, we're in this house, and all right, now let's drink. Let's get high. Let's drink some more.
Oh, look, the lights turned off. I'll go get the generator. Walks out. Where's the corkscrew? Where's this? There's that. Poof. And then one by one, they get pegged off, and it's like, and no one hears this going on?
Mm-hmm.
You think the last person in the house would be going, let's see, the people upstairs are not having sex anymore, and I keep hearing these loud bangs. That guy's nailed to the wall over there in the kitchen.
And I feel a draft.
Exactly. And someone left the back door open. Nah, I'll just grab this flashlight and go look. But it's like that with every horror movie. Grab the flashlight to go investigate the loud bomb instead of going, screw this, call the cops, I'm out of here.
Yeah, it's kind of great too. Like my son is just starting to dabble in some horror, and like he's only seen 5 or 6 movies right now, and some of the lighter ones, but he's already picking up on all the tropes. Like he's like, all right, this is the part where this happens. All right, and then this guy's going to say this.
Exactly. I think some of the one kinds of remakes that actually do work are like the TV movies. I mean, take The Stand back when in the I think early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that came out. And for the time, star cast all around. You had all these big movie stars in it suddenly, and it was good. But for that time, you look at it now and it's like dated. And now they came out with a remake now, and it's almost cinematic quality, even though it's on CBS All Access.
Mm-hmm.
And they expanded it to like 9 episodes, so you get a whole bunch of content. They're not whittling it down; like they're really exploring it. And I'm really enjoying watching it right now, and I can't wait to see how they're going to go, because I hear Stephen King actually wrote a new ending for it. I don't know what was so different about the last one. They win, yay! But anyways,
damn it.
yeah. So I can't wait to see how that is going to go. But there's stuff like that, especially with a lot of remakes, like It. That was a TV movie, went into the theaters, and that really did really well.
That was really good.
Yeah, and I have to admit they did a good job on there. The clown looks scary. I mean, you can't beat Tim Curry though, because he's Tim Curry. But I think he did his own take on it, and it really got you. And that I don't mind, when they actually took something that's really bad and made it better, or was okay, and then just took it to the next level, in my opinion.
And that's what they did do with it. It was impressive. Remakes sometimes disappoint me. That one didn't. What disappointed me was the remake of Halloween by Rob Zombie. that one disappointed me.
You know, the sad part is I blocked that from my memory, but now I got to go through this again. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, it really
sucked,
did.
but
It was very hard for me to hold my interest with that. The original one with Jamie Lee Curtis, I enjoyed because you just didn't know the monster behind the mask, and then with the new one, it just
Didn't grab you.
didn't grab me at all. It just felt like another hack and slash.
I could probably go on a 5-minute rant about it if you want me to.
Yeah,
It's just-
I would love for you to, because
Okay,
it was just.
I'm going to make this quick and simple.
No, you promised 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes, but I'll try to keep it within that time, because I could probably spend
Yeah.
30 minutes on it, like they did in the whole freaking movie to get to the good part. I mean, I don't know what Rob Zombie thinks is considered horror. I've seen his other movies. I really don't understand it. I think the only one of his I really liked was 31. And all that was just a bunch of guys stuck in a place in a game being killed off one by weird people.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of all the other ones, like Justice Force with David Dudikoff, and, you know, what is that, Hard Target.
Yeah.
That really freaked me out. But Halloween, in its sense, he decides to give this backstory of an abusive grandparent or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, sister that's basically a slut and this and that, but yet a loving mother and a baby. And the thing about that is, it's like you don't get psychotics like that. That's not how you
No.
make it. Like him all of a sudden having these psychotic tendencies, it made no sense. For the first half hour of the movie, I'm like, this is dumb. And then worst part is when he gets into the institution after killing everybody, apparently, suddenly he wears these masks, he stops talking, he becomes as big as a wrestler. I'm like,
Yes.
he's in an institution. It's not like he's in the yard pumping weights.
Exactly.
I'm like, it made no sense. And then don't even get me started on number 2.
Well,
it's
see-
like a fever dream, in my opinion.
Well, in my opinion, it was more or less like he was so full of himself with that movie. He thought he could add to something that really didn't need any addition to it.
No,
And-
the original was just fine.
Yes, the fact that you didn't know him, he was coming after everybody. I enjoyed that. Having that backstory was just a way to drag things out, in my opinion.
I really think he just did this as a vehicle for his wife. That's it, to keep her employed.
Oh,
That's the
well,
only
all
thing
of
I
his
think
movies are like that. All of his movies are. You just get the sense of him being very self-centered and
Oh, yeah.
very egotistic.
He doesn't have a career anymore. He has to have his wife be in it now, so that's the
And-
problem. And don't even get me started on the other Halloweens too. Like the
Right.
original series, how many remakes did they make within that series?
Right.
You had
Right.
Halloween 1, and then they came out with H2O, which kind of went back to 1, and
Yeah.
but they made a sequel to 1 and 2, where Halloween H2O was that, and now they have the new remake that takes place right after 1, and then that one's getting its own sequel, and it's like, well, how many remakes are we going to make within the original series, and then you have these remakes over here that just totally suck.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, yeah, these ones, the new ones were great. I have to admit, they went back to what it was
Yes.
for Halloween.
Right.
The 2018.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that primal. He's just a killing force. There's no reason why he just does it.
Right.
You know,
I
it's like,
enjoyed that.
You know, I like the fact it's not his sister. It's not that. You know, I like the in joke about that, but I can't even talk about the Rob Zombie ones. I'm like,
Well, it seems like he doesn't have his pulse on what really made you scared in the movie.
and you know, that's people's taste, and I get that, and I do respect that, and for him to make it his own, but it just seemed like a rock and roll fever dream when I look at any of his type of movies. I mean,
Right.
House of a Thousand Corpses, and then he made The Devil's Rejects. I'm thinking,
Devil's Rejects. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Sig Haig. I love his character, but it's just a lot of that stuff just didn't fit correctly in my mind. Wasn't cohesive enough.
didn't
It
find
wasn't
it scary.
smooth enough, and it wasn't scary. It seemed like a whole bunch of people got together and just had fun, which is great, but that's not
yeah,
what
it
horror is
wasn't
about.
it wasn't cohesive. I mean, it's not like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where at
Right.
least it made sense. these people went to the wrong house.
Right.
These people are just nuts. It's
Right.
just, I don't know. It's
Yeah, see, I actually love corpses and rejects.
yeah.
Oh, see, well, that's
So
good
you-
though.
So you
I
probably
love
like
that.
the new one that he came out with, and Three
Yeah.
from Hell.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, really? But it's a sequel.
I mean, I wanted to see more after Rejects, but on the other hand, to me that was like the perfect ending for those characters.
yeah, just
Like they should have
them
just
die.
let it go. So of course, opening weekend, I went to go see Three from Hell, but it was pretty much what I expected, an unnecessary
Oh, that's a shame.
bonus hour and a half or whatever.
I think he just ran out of money. That's all. It's like,
Almost-
I got to make another movie. I'm running out of
Probably.
money.
Well, see, you did bring up something, a point. I did like the idea about the three characters being psychopaths, going around killing people, and then how they did it in that movie, bringing them to the hotel and everything like that, and then having all that psychological stuff. It's just that he had all these great ideas. It's just, I don't think when it came to filming and come to putting it all together, he was able to get it together correctly and have it come out smooth. That's my opinion.
Yeah, when we talk about three people going around killing people for no reason without a backstory, that reminds me of The Strangers.
Right.
I mean, I enjoyed that movie because I'm like,
But they had a reason.
they didn't really tell you. They really never came out and said, like, here's the reason why we're doing it. We're just doing it because they're home.
Yeah.
Ding,
What
ding.
more
Oh, you're
reason do you
home?
need?
Okay, we're going to kill you. And then they made
That's true, because that was our problem with the Halloween remake. Yeah, our problem with the Halloween remake by Rob Zombie was the fact that Rob Zombie gave the bad guy, gave Michael Myers a backstory.
Yeah, but the thing about that is it doesn't fit. The kid does not have enough to become psychopathic, especially with a loving mother, and then he loves his sister. I'm sorry, a psychopath cannot love your sister and then go around killing everybody else. I'm sorry. No, I've read too much about psychopaths to see that. If anything, he would be more obsessed with it and wouldn't let anybody hurt or take his sister away. He would never let that happen. And like I said earlier, what kind of institute lets this guy pump iron to get that big? And he's nuts? What kind of facility is this?
Yeah.
It's like, are they Democrats? I mean, come on, let's.
Oh no!
What, too soon?
No.
But anyways, so
No.
any other remakes that you guys can think of off the top of your head that we can throw out there?
I actually enjoyed the Evil Dead remake as well.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I mean, what the original was? It was just a gore fest.
exactly.
Again, not the greatest story, and of course, without Bruce
Right.
Campbell, it's
Yeah, well, who shows up at the end
but-
in that little
Right.
Well-
cameo? It kind of makes you wonder, like, technically, is this happening in the same universe? It just happened to a different set of people, and the girl just happens to be called Ashley.
Yeah, I did hear. I don't know if it was with that one or if it was something else in the works. I'll have to go back and look into that. But yeah, that they were talking about doing something in the universe.
I think so.
But
I mean,
a
they
whole
have
other-
Ash versus the Evil Dead series. I think it lasted 3 seasons.
Yeah,
I think it was canceled after that, which sucks. But oh, the other remake that just recently came out was Chucky. I don't know how you or Child's Play, I should
Yeah.
say. They redid that, and
I enjoyed that actually. I really liked that remake.
I'm still hesitant to check it out.
I'm okay with it because I like the idea that they tried to take today's technology feel to it,
Yeah,
and I get it. It's not a possessed doll with a a killer soul that's done
AI
before.
gone awry.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just that's what it is. And I thought, okay, they did attempt to do something different. Now, not to say that they can't say that this.
Sorry.
Bless you. That this isn't in the same universe, and they're just trying to bring back the good guys and use today's technology. Nothing says they didn't do that. They don't say it's totally different, but I like the idea that they did with that. And truthfully, I actually felt bad for the doll. Although I don't know how I feel about Mark Hamill doing his voice. It's just creepy. Good night.
I was going to say, it's
I
one of the
like
reasons
that.
why I wanted to check it out, because, you know.
Yeah, for me, it was creepy. I'm sorry.
But I as much as I like Mark Hamill, I am kind of, you know, well, again, recasting anybody, it's like Brad Dourif.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. The original, like, you always look at that as like, but it has to. Why can't it be him? Why can't they just do that? You know. But he was the soul trapped in the body, whereas this is more vocal. Because even seeing him talk is like he's like, why? It's weird, but it's that creepy kind of weird because it's like, why did they make him look like that instead of like a doll? You know. So
I really liked it. And I love the original too. It's just both are what you pointed out was both are two different flavors. The original had more of comedy horror to it, even though it could have been more creepy with the storyline of the serial killer being possessing the doll versus the serial killer, or not, the disgruntled worker, the psychotic disgruntled worker tampering with the doll. It's really funny. I would think those two storylines would like be able to be swapped, because the newer one had more of a creepy feel to it, less of a comedic feel. You didn't get those comedic quips. I'm sorry, you wouldn't get those. Can I say it again?
yes.
Okay, you wouldn't get those comedic quips as you got with the original. You wouldn't get any of those one-liners and stuff.
Well, I don't remember there being that much in the original trilogy.
Well, yeah. The first one.
Once Tiffany came into play, then
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
That's when
true.
he couldn't use the Child's Play name, and he went straight to, you know, whatever of Chucky or this is Chucky and all that. I mean, just like he's making his own TV series called Chucky, so I
Right.
can't wait for that with the original Brad Dourif coming back to play him.
Right.
So I can't wait for that to see how they. Hopefully they do it just like they did the originals, not the remakes with Tiffany and all that. Just
The original was very hokey to me. And then the remake was the original was really hokey to me. And then just the remake, I just enjoyed the creepiness of it.
And that's good. You know, I wasn't saying it was a bad movie. I was just saying it's like trying to compare that. It's hard. It's like peanut butter and jelly, but you don't know if they're going to mix. So, and unlike some of the other movies like Halloween, it's like, you know, Nightmare, and then Friday. It's like now they're going to be doing a new Hellraiser, hopefully, which is interesting because Clive Barker just got the rights back to that.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes. I'm trying to think of any other remakes that have come out recently that just like, why? You know, what's the point? I can't think of anything off the top of my head at this moment, so I guess we'll just hold that off until next time, and then we'll see how it goes. So let's go ahead and take a quick break, and then we'll come back with something else.
Segue.
So that brings us to the end, I think. I think we can actually end right there. I think we had definitely had a fun time talking about all this. And now I'm reaching out to you guys. Let us know what you guys think about what your favorite remakes are, whether or not they stack up to the original or if you just stick with the original. And also let us know any ideas you want us to talk about, because we'll talk about anything horror. Just throw it out there. You can check us out, send us an email at crypticsouls696@gmail.com. Just drop us a line just to say hi, you enjoy the show, or give us ideas of how we can make it better. I'm sure Dave will talk more next time, but no, I'm just kidding.
But probably.
No, we've been talking back and forth like crazy, so it's been fun. But so what do you guys think? You think this was a success?
Yes, this was a successful episode.
It was definitely a lot of fun, and I guess we'll let the masses decide.
Exactly. Or we'll just remake this next time. So we'll see. We'll just redo the
But it'll be
entire-
a good remake.
I don't know. As long as we don't get Rob Zombie in it, I think we'll be fine. So on that note, thanks for listening, everybody.
Like, follow, and share our Facebook page. It's Kryptic Soulz Horror Podcast. It's Cryptic with a K, Souls with a Z.
Definitely check us out. Drop us a line. Say hi. You know, we'll be on there. outside of that, we'll see you next go around.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Ching-cha-ching.